Hey guys, welcome back to Fleetyards Mission Briefing. As always, I'm Captain Foley.
And I'm Commander Cockings.
That's right. And as always, we have something cool to look at today. This one's been on our radar for a little while, but somebody actually requested it, and so now we have to do it, like right away.
I'm
So what ship are we looking at, and who's responsible for making us do this?
I'm pretty sure that this ship has been requested on every single video of Fleetyards we've ever done. We always see request comments. I'm pretty sure this has been always every time been requested. And Scott Bracken, you made it jump to the head of the queue, so well done, Scott. And if we're rubbish about the ship, everyone can blame you, not us. But yes, we are looking at Space Battleship Yamato. And I'm sure most of you know what that is because, boy, everyone asks for it. Very famous, and while I don't know the show, and this is one of those ones where normally I bring a ship and I know about the show, this is one I'm totally in the dark and Stuart knows a little bit. I do obviously know about the design, but as we like to do in Fleetyards, I'm coming in sort of fresh, so I can give new perspectives that you might not have thought of before, and we can learn about the ship together for the full episode. And we know there was a 3D model that Marino has made, and we will use that for the full episode down the line. If he wants to sponsor that episode, because I'll do animations. Anyway,
Yeah,
Stuart.
And I love the full episodes because we do a lot of research and we learn all about these things.
Well,
This one
Stuart
we've
does the
kind of got
research, then I learn a lot, because I'm just like,
Yes.
oh my god, so much information. Love it.
This one we've got a structure and a framework for kind of some information, but it's just basically our first look at the ship. So if we miss things, we apologize. But
That's
your
the mission
comments
briefing
below,
format.
yeah, that's right. And your comments below are very beneficial in actually doing the full episode down the road. So let us know what you know about the ship.
So I guess I'll do my first thoughts, because you always do your first thoughts normally. My first thoughts is it's a battleship with a red underbelly. That's my first thought. What do you think?
And I agree. I remember seeing this as a kid because this actually came out in 1974, the year I was born.
Wow, you should.
So I know I've seen a few episodes, but I never really got into it. My good buddy Ash is a huge fan of this show and just owns all the stuff about it and just loves it to death. But
I thought it was just movies. Is it a TV show as well?
yeah, it's an anime. Yeah.
I thought it was just like 3 or 4 movies or something, and then a live action I believe
no.
happened.
It's a full anime called Star Blazers.
Oh, right.
Yeah, which is very much like Battle of the Planets and that kind of thing back in the 70s.
So what's your impression of the design then? First impression of this ship, and I believe this is Mario's model. Looks like his sort of lighting setup.
Yeah, it looks like a normal battle cruiser or a battleship that's been refitted to fly in space.
That's a good way of saying it. Yeah.
Well, essentially, that's what it is. It's actually they used the ship that sank, and they actually converted it to a spaceship underwater, so that the aliens that were attacking Earth wouldn't be aware of what was going on.
That's cool.
Yeah, so then they launched it, and surprise! But yeah, because the original Yamato sunk near Okinawa during World War II, so they're basically using that ship for this ship. So
it's literally the Yamato.
It's a resurrected World War II ship.
Wow.
They originally thought it sunk in one piece, due to records at the time.
Yeah.
But when they discovered it, they found that it had actually snapped right in two because the ammunition's bay exploded.
Ooh.
So when they remade one of the movies for this, they fixed it so that it was broken in two, but they repaired it. But initially, it was just sitting on the bottom of the ocean, nice and perfect. So they started building the spacecraft from within, and went out, and surprise. So that's pretty cool actually.
But yeah, that's hell of an original plot. Although you need a lot of work to make a good for sea, good for space. That's a lot of work to refit. Like I would do new hull on the outside, new hull on the inside, a lot of things. So is this the future? I mean, I'm assuming it's the future, but like how far in the future?
This is the future. It was launched in 2199.
Oh, well, that's I'm sure I can do anything at that point. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, let's start burning through some pictures because we have a lot of reference. Stuart did a great job on this.
Yes.
Wow, picture 1A. That's a nice shot.
It's a beautiful shot. This one I really like. This one, the front looks very much like a shark with its mouth open. I think this is one done for the movies where they kind of just changed it a little bit because there's been many different iterations of this. Every movie.
Well, if it's as old as you, I mean, I'm sure they reboot and alternate. Yeah.
Thanks for saying I'm old, by the way.
If it's as old as you, classic. It's as classical as this. What?
No, this shot's really nice. This is one that I could see put on the captain's wall
Oh
in his,
yeah,
in
yeah,
his
yeah.
ready room or something. This is just a beautiful shot, and I absolutely love it. I think this is from one of the movies, though.
Yeah, it's very painting-esque.
Yeah.
And
Somebody, my friend Rob Ingram actually sent me one of the movies, a link to it with a full movie online. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I really want to.
yeah, with all of Undiscovered, we're a little bit busy
Yeah.
for that stuff. Unless you want to commission a full episode, then we'll make the time. No, this is cool. I mean, it's obviously the problem with this design is it's just a battleship with some bits stuck on. You know, a backstory might be creative, but the design is not that creative. You know, it's like a kit bash of a battleship. You know,
Yeah.
I'm hoping there are other close-ups we can sort of analyze and look at, but
Yeah, I tried to get some good pictures, and all the Fleetyards members really helped out. I put a link out there for help for pictures, and got a lot of great stuff. So thank you to you guys because you're really amazing. Saved
Team
me some
Trekyards and
time.
Fleetyards. Yeah.
Yep, saved me some time, and you all contributed to this episode. So this is very much a group effort.
She's definitely a pretty design. Like, I'll give her that, but that's also the legacy of the Battleship. Well, I'm wondering, have they actually... I mean, obviously this design might be different than the normal one, but have they... Was the whole original Yamato that smooth going up? Because I feel like the...
No.
Okay.
Later, there's a picture of actually the Yamato and the original one underneath, so you can get to see a little bit of a comparison. But we'll talk about that a little bit
So
later.
it's definitely smoothed up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
All right, so the next picture, this is a shot of the actual fleet. There's a whole lot of these ships. Yeah, like I said, I don't know too much about the show, unfortunately. I don't remember the aliens they fought specifically. But yeah, they were defending Earth. And anyway, yeah, so they've got a lot of cool technology. They've got something called a wave motion engine that allows them to go faster than light.
Cool. Good name.
Yeah. And that's not those big engines on the back with the thrust. That's just regular thrust. So,
It's interesting.
but yeah, there's a picture of the fleet and the fact that there's a whole fleet of ships like this out there defending Earth. So,
Well, not exactly like Yamato, because that's
No.
a rebuild of the Yamato itself. That's why it's presumably the special one. 'Cause it says something about the indestructibility of the human spirit. You know, we took something that fought well, you know, brought it back to life, and now the legacy of the ship carries on. So it's a message beyond just the design.
yeah.
And the next picture is a CG render on water with another ship as well, which is a kind
One of the new constructions of the time.
Huh.
So they use that
facing the
technology
other way.
to refit the Yamato. You know what I mean? They use that modern technology. That's one of the modern ships of the time to refit the Yamato. Yeah, this is them just risen out of the water, and yeah, apparently this thing, from what I was reading, has wings that act like airlines. I can't even say the word. That help it with atmospheric flight to get out of the atmosphere and up into space.
Yeah, it's not exactly aerodynamic, is it? Not...
No.
But if you've got big enough engines, you don't need to be.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you can see that the bulbous sort of things come off the hull. Obviously, the carryovers. Presumably, that's I don't know, the FTL tech or
maybe radar or something.
Or the fuel tanks. That's a little bit extreme. Maybe they need to be cooled by the coolness of space or something.
There's so many people out there ripping their hair out right now because they know for a fact what it is. Because this is like a cult fan. This is a cult favorite. So
And we look forward to hearing from you and sponsoring a full episode. But the next picture is interesting, and we have a length of 280 meters, which is just about the same size as the Constitution class.
Well, that's for the Revival Yamato. There's two Yamatos there. The one at the very, very top, the longer one, is the original one, and then there's the Revival Yamato that came out later, which was a little shorter and more squat.
Oh.
So the original one, let's see, where's the length here? Has the length of
298 is the...
Well, this Wikipedia page says 285 meters length, and I also saw up to 333. So there's different measurements for this thing, just like Star Trek ships. I think it depends on which version you're looking at. So that's a tough one, but someone out there must know.
But it is Connie comparable, and we know that is about the same size as an aircraft carrier. So obviously that's modern tech it's being based off. So it is in that realm of so I think it looked pretty nice next to a Connie, actually.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the different designs then, about the original, I guess, and the Revival?
Well, the Revival is pretty much the same, just like I said, it's a little bit shorter, and if we got a shot of it from the front as well, it's more squat and stout. I kind of like the revival version a little bit better, especially from the front. But
Well, it's interesting because they've rescaled everything. Like the revival, the bottom pod is smaller, but the bottom spikes are bigger. The bottom red piece is slightly thicker, but obviously less big. The blue bit's thinner, tower's thinner. It's interesting how they've rebalanced. Like my guess would be that they've slimmed down the human elements, so the places that people live, the blue bits, but the red is the technology, and they've managed to shrink that, but also having to extend it. Because now it's refitting it maybe.
yeah,
Something
possibly. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Next shot is just a beauty pass of it in the atmosphere. I mean, it looks amazing. This is one of the animations for sure, but not one of the original ones. This must be one of the newer ones.
It's got one big jet engine lookalike.
Yes, it does. Yeah, but I like the design of the ship. I like all the stuff that's coming off of it. I think it looks very cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interestingly balanced.
Yes.
Like it's not sleek, but it's it's a battleship. It doesn't need to be. It's a warship. These things aren't designed for zooming through the atmosphere at high breakneck speeds, but it's designed to stay there and shoot guns. And the amount of raw tech goes on the bottom gives that sense of it can fly, it can do stuff. It's that bonus tech in the way that. And the next picture is a grayscale front view. Different perspective. That's a lot of guns. There's more guns than I thought it had.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of firepower. The thing about this one too is it's different than the other shot we saw like this because the front doesn't necessarily look like a shark's head. It does. It's got the elements that you needed for that last picture, but the last picture refined it so much that it looked actually like a shark's head. This one, it's got the hole in the top of the eye and stuff.
And I'm guessing that's a really big porthole to see out of. That's torpedo launcher.
No, that's a weapons launcher.
Yeah.
We actually have a good cutaway later that shows kind of what's going on in there.
I can't help but think all those sticky outy little thin pylon things are so frail and break-offable,
Well, there's your monkey brain. There's your ape brain going to work.
Well, this is only 2190. Maybe ape brain works in the low future rather than the 2300s.
Next picture is 4A, and here we have the actual Yamato, the World War II version, and then the refitted Yamato for the space flight.
Refit spaceship version. As all good ships should be refit in space.
Yes.
Huh.
So you can see the subtle changes they've made here. They kind of replaced the whole command tower at the top. Moved back.
It's not subtle changes so much as we took the shapes and redid everything. Like it does look like a scratch build. I mean, based on the shapes, you couldn't really get the Yamato shape. Like, you'd have to completely rebuild the outer bit of the tower for it to match the new thing. So either they built it from scratch, or they literally just built a new shell around the old existing. Not in a bad way, obviously. You don't want to use the exact shapes. They want to refine it slightly.
You got to think too. This was a wreck on the bottom of the ocean since World War II, so a lot of that had been deteriorated away. Yeah. So they would have used the main hull essentially, and then built up from there, and made it look similar to its original.
I think I'm kind of complimenting they redesigned the newer version. But yeah, I like how they've. It's interesting because they could have mimicked. I mean, the bottom version is incredibly flat and dull. The bottom bit, it is very flat and dull. But again, you're not going to see most of. You're only going to see the grey bit. I didn't even realize it was red underneath. Why would it be red underneath? Functionally, is that a paint thing? Is it just paint to help with oxidation of the water? I don't know much about battleships. I apologize. I'm a space guy.
Yeah. Well, all ships are painted red on the bottom.
Did not know that.
Yeah. Even the Titanic and stuff have the red on the bottom. I don't know what that's for necessarily, but that is an interesting point.
But it's interesting how they've sort of stretched and pulled and obviously made the front way more dynamic and
yeah. Anyway, if you go to the next picture, this is one of the Japanese model building books. This is like a paint guide for the ship, and it's got all the views, which is nice, and it's also got all of the support craft there as well. So it's kind of a nice thing to see.
Those are pointy ass fighters.
Well, most fighters are pointy, in all honesty. So
yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
at least. Well, I like the jet at the back though. But again, clearly this was designed before we actually advanced technology enough to realize later designs. Like everything's very bulbous and. Okay, so well, obviously view we haven't really seen yet. The front and the back, like straight on. I like the back view. The engine certainly feels powerful. I do like the curves of how the whole, like it on the front. Although I'm wondering what is that bottom piece? It feels like.
Oh, the part on the bottom.
Yeah, it almost feels like a proper secondary command module or an auxiliary craft or.
Good call. Okay, I've got to tell you here. Now the Yamato has 3 bridges. Bridge 1 contains the helm, radar, communications, and command positions, and basically where most of the action takes place. But there was also a second bridge devoted to navigation and a third bridge that hung below the ship, serving as a backup bridge or as a decoy to attract enemy fire. Or in submarine mode, which I think that indicates when it's under the water, is acted as the main bridge in the anime Yamato Rebirth. So it's kind of got that secondary or third tertiary bridge function. So there you go. Yeah, you were right. And I don't know exactly where the second bridge is located, but I think it's the first one's on the top, second one's kind of in the middle, and then down below. So
yeah, I guess the first one's the classical bridge. They want to use it because it's where it was in the original, and obviously all the stations are there, and you can see the whole ship. Secondary bridge like a battle bridge, it'd be in the middle to be protected, and this tertiary bridge is like the space bridge. This is all the more advanced tech, or if you want to use it. But it's very exposed, but again, it makes it not as flat. Like and having the asymmetry of the top, which is very modern, the bottom. I mean, I almost wish they pushed the bottom part to be more sci-fi. So there was asymmetrical nature because it's very simple, and if it's not. Obviously, it can still go in the water, but if it's meant to be a space or anything, I want to see maybe some glowing elements, other command bits, more other weapon modules that are more sci-fi. Like, I think they could have pushed it further, especially if it is a bridge module. That's just me.
Yeah.
But the next picture is a fan authos, and we've used these for years. This site that has these sort of ones that they're always great, and it is a Yamato class battleship.
It has a length at 265 meters.
Okay.
So again, different length.
Wave motion engine, bubble shield, reflective shield, cool. Pulse lasers, shock cannons, and missile silos. So they're still using missiles, but they do have energy weapons. I have seen a still where they're firing all their guns at one time. That's their mega weapon or something. So I guess the cannons are laser cannons, even though they're still using World War cannon lookalikes.
The wiki page says it has a wave motion gun, upgraded to 6 barrels during rebuild, shock cannons, pulse lasers, missile silos, reflective shield, airtight cover, which is good, missile barrier
it's kind of
shield,
important that,
and a wave motion shield. So all those probably do different things, but I haven't done the research to figure that out yet. So
cool. Okay.
Let's go to the next picture, and this is just a great shot of one of the models that somebody built, and I love the glowing elements. There at the back, you see like 3 engines, 2 small ones on the bottom. And then the blue glow, almost like a deflector from the Federation.
No, that absolutely enhances it to me. Having those 3 engines, that definitely works. Definitely works well. Yeah. And he's enhanced the top radar dome dish bridge with even more sticky outy things, which kind of works.
Yeah, just different version of the ship because there are so many. Yeah. And I know model builders in Japan love building this thing. Like, this is a huge industry building this model. So there's many different versions of this model, and anyway.
Nice. But the next picture is another model, but again, really high detail from the back. It has even more of a jet engine feel now, more high detail. I like that a lot, although it kind of... It's funny, when you design something at that point in time and you use the tech of the time, the most advanced thing we have is a jet propulsion. You're saying it's a spacecraft, you say, well, that's not... I mean, just having an impulse drive, having, flat red glowing elements like in Star Trek, that's more advanced because it's generating, you almost don't understand how it works as opposed to a jet engine. It actually makes it seem less advanced. It reinforces it's just a battleship that flies in space, which is why those bottom 2 elements enhance it, because now it feels like there's this afterburner plus primary impulse, and then it's or one's for an atmosphere, the other 2 are for everything else.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, absolutely. But the ship's main engine, like I said, was a wave motion engine, which is based on alien technology, and it was capable of converting the vacuum of space into tachyon energy. so it could provide infinite power for the ship, and
Infinite power. Nice.
it
Nice.
also enabled the Yamato to ride the wave of tachyons and travel faster than light. So that's how that kind of
Ride the
works.
tachyons.
And apparently,
Nice.
its first test was from Earth's moon to Mars in 1 minute. So that's pretty quick.
Okay.
However, this feature must be activated with perfect timing by a human navigator at a point when space at the origin and destination are in the correct phases. Otherwise, the ship could become lost in the fourth dimension. So, it's kind of similar to Andromeda that way. You have to ride those
Mm.
tunnels,
Mhm.
otherwise you get
Mhm.
spewed out in your...
Slip space, I think.
Yeah.
Is what- Yeah.
So, next up is this is the picture of the revival Yamato and the original one. And here's where you see why I kind of like the revival one a little bit better. It seems a lot more, well, it's less top heavy. It's not going to tip as easy when you're turning a corner, I guess. That's what I'm saying. It just feels sturdier and bulkier to me.
Well, the first one is obviously an older design. It looks like it has a feel of the battleship.
Yeah.
Whereas the second version feels like they then built a standalone. Again, all the shapes are different. They are all different. So they built a new version, enhanced it. You know, it's the refit to the Connie, isn't it? Like, I think the first one looks like battleship. The second one feels integrated, which is weird because it is so bulbous. But the way it goes up and the way it actually works, I think better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Cool. Now,
Now,
the next picture is, you're about to say, I don't know anything about it. Stuart, where's it?
next up, we got a few different cutaways here, but I just wanted to go through some of them really quick.
Yeah.
This first one shows both the original Yamato and the spaceship Yamato side by side as far as deck and structure goes.
That's cool.
Yeah, so you can see on the original one, there's kind of like a hangar bay at the back. You can see the planes in there. That's all been replaced by, of course, engines. Yeah, I just thought this is quite interesting. The front of the spaceship Yamato has a bunch of weaponry and rockets and stuff in the front and the nose part, which we're going to see a better picture of later. But yeah, I just thought this was a nice call out to the original deck plans compared to the new ones.
That's really interesting. Cool.
Yeah. But if you go to the next picture, here we got a very nice artist representation. It's kind of like what Matt and Chris Cushman do. They actually provide some great cutaways. Can't see much detail in this one, but I really wanted to include it because you get a feel for how tightly packed the ship is. It's full of a lot of technology, a lot of cramped quarters, I guess. I'm trying to see if I can find out a crew complement, but it doesn't seem to be listed here.
And you can see how far the engine sort of stretches into the hull, all those different parts. It's obviously a big... Yeah, it's big.
Yeah.
Cool.
And the next picture is another kind of semi-cutaway.
A
little bit more detail here.
A bit more anime yee.
Yeah, anime yee. Can't really see anything specific in this one.
But we're trying to be thorough in our first look.
We are indeed. And the next picture is just basically from the same people, just a different view. I think some of those pods on the bottom, judging by this, might actually house one or two of the auxiliary craft. Those bubbles.
That's interesting.
I could be wrong, but it kind of looks like that. This is kind of a low-res image, so I apologize, guys. But next up is another cross-section of the Yamato. This is a little bit more detailed. You can see how much room the engine actually takes up.
I'm guessing this is the original and refit because the engine is all the way through. That's definitely something to tell. I mean, obviously these are all different. It's different artist interpretation, but this implies the engine is a lot of it. And that second part, that the bottom bridge module looks like Thunderbird 2, I guess.
Yeah.
Auxiliary craft wise, which is cool. I mean, it's like the Captain's Yacht or like the Nostromo. The secondary ship comes out, and it's just why wouldn't you have a real big secondary craft?
Yep.
Cool.
The next shot is kind of like one of the MSDs you would see in Star Trek on the bridge, showing the ship in detail.
Oh, okay. I love that the guns, you can see their firing arc represented.
Yes.
That's a great touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you can see I love this, just the single turbo lift basically all through the just one shaft. Yep, nope.
Yeah.
The functional line of the ship.
Yeah.
Huh.
It doesn't seem to be armored or armed much on the bottom at all. It just kind of seems to be all top armor weaponry
Well,
here.
Stuart,
So.
most battleships are not armored from the bottom. They're in the water.
I know, but
so space water.
Spaceship should be.
But then it just does this sort of turn.
Two-dimensional thinking.
It just turns.
Oh, that's true. Shut up.
Although, do you note, bottom front, in the middle, I guess, one of the sticky outy bubbles actually goes down as well, it looks like. It moves, which is interesting. And also, at the back, there's a door that leads out that lets an auxiliary craft come out.
Yeah.
Which is interesting and cool. I love that shows conceptual where things move to. That's a nice touch.
Yeah.
Cool.
Next picture is a really cool shot of it launching out of the water with some support craft.
Wow, pretty.
Pretty sure it's from one of the movies.
I think that's a miniature.
Oh, it could be a model, yeah.
I
Because
think,
look at the right side there. It loses the...
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. I think you can even see the support wires that the aircraft are on.
Yeah, so that's a gorgeous. I mean, because the lighting is so crisp. That's beautiful. Well done to that guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
You tricked Stuart.
Like I said, yeah, exactly. And like I said, this has got a cult following. People love this show, and they put all this effort and time into building these models and things. So, next shot I think is actually from the original Star Blazers anime, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a cool style.
Yeah.
Outside the galaxy, Stuart.
I know. But going back to cutaways for a second, the next one shows a really detailed view of the cutaway underneath the guns. You can see all the different decks. You can see some bunks there as well. And just maintenance chutes and things like that. So not a lot of room on here, I don't think.
Well, they haven't
very much like a modern day battleship or aircraft carrier. Very cramped.
I'm assuming the refit version would, because the amount of breadth it's getting, and if you refit, think about how big the girders are of a World War whatever battleship. If you can refit that to be an original build, the girders you can raise a thin in comparison. So I'm sure the next version they built will be a lot better in terms of room. It's cool though.
Yeah. The next picture is really cool. This is another cutaway model, kind of low res, and I apologize, but
missiles.
This shows the main gun and a bunch of different sizes of missiles and things.
Oh.
I love that front half is just basically like the armory, although it should be heavily shielded, I would hope. There's one or two major blasts there, and your whole ship is going up.
Secondary explosions, absolutely.
And next shot's just a picture of the guns turned and how each barrel can work independently, have different firing art. They don't have to all work together. I really like that.
I am really surprised though how they did not update the guns. I would like to have seen more of a sci-fi twist on them. Not like a hugely radical thing, but glowing elements, pulsing bits. I know obviously the limited details in anime, they can only draw so much, but if you're going to refit guns, is it cheaper to take guns off another ship, which are better in sci-fi, or use the physical barrels of an original World War gun and just add laser beams inside them? I think you better use limitations to the metal.
I'm sure they upgraded the whole barrel, but it just looks similar, because I don't think they would have used.
I think
you got to think most of the ship would have been deteriorated by that point.
Well, exactly. So they should. I would be surprised if they scratch built a World War II looking gun. I'm saying that the guns I think should be looking a bit more sci-fi. I think up sci-fi a bit more would do it really good justice. I think it needs that bit more future feel, which is funny because the Enterprise doesn't have that because it's all smooth surfaces, but the shape is so different.
And just small little tweaks to the gun barrels would make them very much more science fiction.
And just the back bit again, just like 15%, like sci-fi up 15% would be all I need. Just to feel like it wasn't just the same barrels, because it's meant to be advanced. You can only refit old stuff so far before it can't handle.
And if you go to the next picture, it's just the same model again, but from the back angle, so you just kind of get a different feel for what you're looking at, which is nice.
Cool.
And after that, there's a shot from one of the shows there where it's firing all guns.
Cool. Lasers and blue phasers. So it is TOS cannon.
There you go. Yes. Absolutely.
Cool. Okay.
Next shot's from one of the live action movies. This is a heavy battle scene, lots of firing going on and getting
Wow.
shot at as well. Look at all the smaller like point defense
Railguns.
guns that
Yeah.
are firing out. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Okay. And that's a barrage. I mean, that's and the lighting is beautiful as well. That's a really nice shot.
Yeah. And the next shot is the same battle, I believe.
Oh
Here
wow.
it says on the bottom, 2010 Space Battleship Yamato. So this will be from the 2010
They
movie.
put some budget in Tony Tank. This is gorgeous.
Yes, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, it makes me want to watch it for
Yeah.
sure.
I mean, look at that whole detailing and just yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd love to talk to that modeler. Like, how much did he literally just take off the Yamato Battleship original, and how much did he
Yeah.
just say no, we're going to do sci-fi version or an element? I've been intrigued to. And
Oh yeah. So next one is 17th Yamato Earth
ooh,
Federation. This looks like a future version of it.
wow, look at that.
I'm not sure the story behind this, but it looks like it's one that came after the fact. Maybe the other one got destroyed and this was a replacement.
What do you think?
I love it.
That's great. That looks like a rocket.
See, this ups your sci-fi factor. You look at those
Yep.
guns, just the fact that they're not round anymore, they're
Yeah.
rectangular. That's all it needed for the old one that you were
Well,
talking about.
also the shapes are different. They're now inside of like a housing rather than a big steel box.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
those two things, yeah. Although I'd love to see. That's a bit silly. I'd love to see like little, those, in Fifth Element when they turn the guns on it and the thing pops up and it's got those concentric
Yeah.
green. I'd love to see those on it, like at the front or at one of the sides, just be like a little bit sci-fi, but little thing like that, little joker thing. But this is a cool design. This takes it and really sleeks it, really aggressivizes it. I love that secondary piece because it's now fully integrated. That now feels like a module, a really tied in module rather than just a thing stuck on. And that bridge, that's a great bridge. The top bit, that's a really nice version.
Next shot. I'm not sure if this is a physical
That's a
model
model.
that's been
Yeah, it's a model with
composited,
yeah.
or if it's from one of the actual live action movies using a model. I don't know.
Ooh,
I don't know if
that's
somebody did it
interesting.
themselves or if it's from a movie, but it's some interesting detail here. You see some lights, and
Yeah.
markers and things.
That's interesting.
So
Yeah, and you can see, I think, on the front half, or the front bit, you can see a thing that goes into the water, an anchor. And an anchor.
well, it does have space anchors that actually it can anchor itself to asteroids.
Does have space anchors.
Yes, it does.
Brilliant. Brilliant, brilliant. I
They're
mean,
called rocket anchors. Sorry.
oh, sorry, yeah.
And they can anchor asteroids, or they can be used to provide gravity-assisted slingshot.
Nice.
They can also be used to deflect enemy ships from collisions. So they can be launched out like via rocket power and hit another object. So next picture is the last picture, and this
Ooh.
again is the version that looks very much like a shark at the front there. But I thought it was a nice kind of send-off picture
Yeah.
for the ship kind of sailing off into the unknown.
It's a pretty classical version of it.
Yes. I love the detailing on it, and I think it's a fantastic ship. So
Yeah, I love the weathering. Because boy, is that weathered.
So my closing thoughts are: this is a fantastic design, an interesting concept using an old World War II battleship to upgrade it to a spaceship. I thought that was very interesting. I love the fact that there's so many iterations of it, from the revival version to the 17th, like the future version of it. Even just the subtle little changes between live action movies and the different animes that they've had. So this ship, like I said, has a cult following. A lot of people know everything about it, like down to the rivets. And I'm looking forward to reading their comments and stuff below, because that's always very entertaining for me to learn about a ship. And like I said, doing a full episode on this will be fun. And this will definitely be a full episode ship at some point, because it is so popular and there's so much information on it that I think it'll fit perfectly in that niche. So,
And we do have
overall-
Mario's model going straight into it, so we know we're already set, as it were.
yeah. So overall, final thought is I think it's fantastic. Love the fact that so many versions of it. I'm looking forward to learning more about it. And just the love that people have for it. It must be good anime. It must be good storytelling.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to really getting into that lore. I wouldn't mind. I'm going to watch a live action movie that was sent to me, and I'm going to maybe see if I can find a few others and learn a little bit more about this on my own before we start researching the full episode. That's how much I think it's a fantastic design. So
Yeah, I'm gonna mirror your end sentiment there. The fact that I knew it was so loved because I've seen it around for years. means that I think the storytelling and the vibe and the atmosphere and the legacy, that I think is why people love it, because this design is ultra simple and it's very, very basic, and it's like a 1.3 in terms of sci-fi tech, you know. It's barely a step, but that's interesting in of itself. It's like a steampunk design almost. It's like taking something familiar and then changing it a bit, and certainly creative as a story. But I don't think people love the show for this ship. I think they love the show for the show, and because the ship is such an important part of it, and the story is so rich that it all kind of comes together.
Yeah.
You know, because the design is so simple. I think if you love battleships, you're gonna love it even more. But aesthetically, it's a battleship with a big red. You know what I mean? It's not. It hasn't done enough it hasn't done enough different to specifically call out it as being a great design. The future version 17th, now that actually has been redesigned. That I can dig because it's actively changing things. And I think, as I said, with faster ships, with Star Trek, let's tweak some stuff. I think you can make it even more original and unique. But I think the fact that it is what it is, and I love, like Firefly's Rust Bucket. This is obviously a super old thing at the time. Yeah. You have so many story potentials just by that, So I'm very intrigued to see what on earth the tone of the stories would be. And I'm sure the live action's rubbish. People love the anime because that's what always happens. Even Attack on Titan, I've seen all the anime and people hate the live action because it's wrong, even though they put a lot of money in it. You can't win. Apparently, you can't win. But yeah, it's cool. I'm glad I learned so much. And full episode, I'm excited because there's a lot we can do with this. And this is a great pitch to end on. So good job, and thanks so much, Scott Brackman, for wanting this ship and getting it finally on top of our list. Thanks for supporting us on Indiegogo, and we hope you enjoyed, and we hope you're not smashing your computer screen and all the things we're saying.
Frustration.
But we enjoyed this, and I hope you guys enjoyed it too. So if you want to help this show and help us do more shows like this and full shows, you can do a couple of ways. You can share this show to any way you think people would enjoy it. Again, we have a fresh perspective on this, so if you think Yamato fans would enjoy some new perspective that isn't 40, 50 years, however old you are, 30 years of enjoyment, 60 years, no, then share it to them, or like and subscribe to this channel for more Fleetyards, and obviously Trekyards, our main show, from Orville coming out, for Discovery coming out. We're going to hit it all, so please like and subscribe and share, as I said.
Yeah. And like he said, we're going to be busy with Orville and Discovery and a whole bunch of other stuff on here. So if you want to help us out, to give us the time to be able to do this, please do so by clicking the Patreon link in the description below, heading on over there and giving us a monthly donation if you can, or heading over to trekyards.com and hitting the donate button, because every little bit helps. And we look forward to doing a lot more stuff for you guys in the future. So until next time, everyone, I'm Captain Foley.
And I am Commander Cockens.
We'll see you guys very soon.
Bye, guys.
Bye.